Welcome in. Thank you for joining us here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus on this Thursday morning. We want to get to some breaking news. We're following a deadly vehicle crash on I-485. This is a look at a scene. We have a photographer there who just got there on the scene. You see sort of the aftermath of it, and you also see the long line of cars there at NCDOT. Troopers out there on the scene. Again, a fatal crash, closing all lanes on Interstate 485 outer loop near Oakdale Road in Mecklenburg County. We want to bring in meteorologist Majestic Storm. Majestic, you're tracking this crash. What can you tell us?
Well, it happened just after 7 o'clock this morning. I've been following traffic all morning long on WCNC, so I want to show you some of our different perspectives when we're looking at our camera. So we know at least one fatality. This is I-485, the northwestern side of it at Oakdale Road. So, of course, where there's no cars, that's where they have it blocked off right there. You can see the debris in the road. Once we switch it over to a couple of other cameras, this is the traffic, and this has been ongoing for about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours now, where cars have just been completely stopped or just moving very, very slowly. You can see they have those cones set up, several emergency responders there on scene asking to just avoid I-485. Cars are trying to get off on that exit, but as you can imagine, I mean, this is rush hour. Lots of people are out and about taking I-485 like you would typically see. But I want to take you out a couple other mile markers back. So this is now mile marker 19, showing you that traffic here. All lanes, again, moving a little slowly. At some points, it'll be completely stopped, but specifically I-485 out near Oakdale Road, it's just blocked off. So parts of I-485 shut down because of this fatal crash. Another perspective, you can see the inner loop. We don't have any issues there. Earlier this morning, it was a little bit more slow moving, not because of impacts, but I think just because a lot of people are seeing a big, huge delay and trying to look and see what's going on. And then still I-485 near Harris Boulevard, noticing lots of cars just jam-packed there. Again, this is what a fatal crash this morning, happening just after 7 o'clock this morning, 9:04 right now, and still seeing those delays. So those are some of our cameras. Let me switch it over to my map. I'm going to show you kind of putting things into perspective, where this is, what we're looking at specifically. We've had a very busy morning traffic-wise, but this, of course, is going to be the number one thing because of the fatality, but also because we know a lot of people take I-485, and when I-485 gets backed up, it can be really, really a headache. Specifically, we're seeing the worst of it between exits 18 and exit 21, which is what I was showing you with all those different live shots. But that purple there is just indicating where the road is completely blocked off right now. Again, this is the inner loop. The outer loop does have some slower moving traffic, but I think that's just because people are driving by it, like I mentioned. So if you're getting ready to head out the door, you take I-485 typically, well, you're not going to want to do that today. We don't even have an estimated time as to when this is going to be completely cleared. Your best alternate route will be this right here. This is Mount Holly Huntersville Road, highlighted in this orange here just to help put that into perspective. Again, this is what it looks like, a couple of our camera shots. It is on I-485. If you're just turning on the stream, we're following a fatal crash this morning that is slowing down traffic significantly. It's going to be on the outer loop, and this is kind of where it all starts. Now, they're trying to get the traffic to get off at that exit here.
This is
but
like the Mountain Island Lake area.
Yeah, right over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sort of stretched right over by the lake.
And they've just been trying to, try to get people to push a little bit more and get off of this, but again, we don't have any times. I haven't heard any times
I looked
when it's
on
going to be.
drivenc.gov, which again, they give kind of a vague
rough
estimate.
estimate, yeah.
Like it has 11, it just updated to 11:20,
Ooh.
which again,
Yeah.
these things are,
Yeah.
they put these out, they put estimated things out. It could be sooner, it could be way later. They just give a vague estimate. So that's what they have right now.
It's just the thick of morning rush hour. So, I mean, Majestic, we will continue to check in if we have any updates on this crash. Again, bogging down traffic again. This is a deadly crash on I-485 outer loop. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes with a check of your forecast. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. I know a lot of folks are getting going. I said that right, getting going. You probably heard your grandparents
They're
say that
getting
before.
going.
I get it.
They're
Getting going.
getting going.
I mean, you get what I'm saying. Majestic's here. She gets what I'm saying. Carlene gets what I'm saying. But you got to get going with a coat and a hat and some gloves.
Exactly. And in the mountains, we got a little snowfall overnight.
Oh, but
Yes.
this is typical for the mountains, right?
Yeah, I think people in the mountains, they look forward to those opportunities where we can get snow.
Right.
There's nothing.
But it's been the wind. It's been the wind that just makes it feel miserable. So I want to start out with a couple of our live cameras. Want to take you out to the mountains. This is what Boone looks like right now. This is out there in King Street. Lots of people bundled up because not only do you have a light dusting of snow, you have those really strong winds in the mountains, making it feel like it's below zero at times. I've also seen a lot of plow trucks go by, which is good. I mean, NCDOT does a really good job with making sure that those roads are treated the best that they possibly can be. But still, of course, just drive with caution as you're heading out. Here's another live camera. This one's coming in from Banner Elk, another one of our mountain cameras this morning. We've seen snow even out there in Blowing Rock this morning, and also drifting, kind of blowing snow, reducing down visibility at times. I like showing this 4-box because it gives you a good perspective of just some of the different mountain counties or mountain towns that we have in and around our area. So Blowing Rock, you can tell it's really windy there. Beach Mountain, the ski resort's always so excited to actually get fresh snow. But when it's just cold, they're also just taking advantage of the chilly temperatures and making their own snow. You can see some of those snow machines blasting. So what are we talking about today? Today's forecast is going to be all about the cold. We had a little bit of snow, a little bit of moisture move in with that front, but now we're looking at just bitterly cold temperatures today, all throughout the day really, and then into our Friday morning. And now we're starting to look at this weekend's forecast because there's a chance that we could even get a little snow in and around the Charlotte metro area. Let's start with the cold though, because this needs to be top of mind because it's happening right now. This is what it feels like. Look at this up in the mountains. Boone, Jefferson, -3 is what our actual wind chill is. So that's what it feels like on your skin the moment you step outside. 23 in Charlotte, so layers will most definitely be handy today. You need those, especially if you work outside. It's just going to be a little miserable, especially higher up in elevation, when that wind just kind of hurts when you go outside, and it kind of hurts your face because you have the cold air, you have the wind, you know how it goes. So over the next 12 hours, this is what the wind will look like. Again, the winds shifted. Yesterday we saw highs reach 50s. They were moving in from the southwest. That's what happens. But then the front came through. Now the winds are moving in from the northwest, and that's pulling in that colder air for us, gusting anywhere from about 20 to 25 miles an hour for us in and around the Charlotte metro area. However, we do have cold weather alerts in place issued by the National Weather Service, Ashe, Watauga, Avery counties. This is going to be ongoing, not just today, but even into tomorrow. Those northwesterly winds, I mean, I'm telling you, those winds up to 55 miles an hour up towards the high country. So with that being said, it's not out of the question for it to actually feel like you're below zero at times. So not only do you have a little snow, but truly I think the biggest story today is the cold. Futurecast winds, it looks like this heading into the evening hours, still holding on to breezy conditions up in the higher elevations, which makes sense why that is going to stay in place until tomorrow. For us in Charlotte, those winds will slowly start to let up. But this morning, if you're somebody who likes to wake up, you want to go for a walk, you want to just get outside and get some fresh air, you will notice that chill. Let's talk about the Futurecast. So this is what it will feel like around noon today. I think it's going to be one of those days in the mountains where you're going to struggle really throughout the whole day with the cold feel-like temperatures. Again, you have that cold air in place, and then with those winds gusting around 40 miles an hour when I just last checked, I mean, makes sense. -6 is what it feels like right now in Boone, -2 in Jefferson. If you're watching from the mountains and you have any outdoor pets, please tell me you already brought them inside. It is cold out there, and even in and around the Charlotte metro area, it's going to feel like we're into the teens and 20s through most of the day today. Now, back to the mountains, because this is where we're seeing just the most dangerously cold conditions, because for the majority of our morning, it's going to feel like we're below zero, even into the afternoon. I mean, there's 4 o'clock. The kids are coming home from school if they had school today, or maybe this is around the time that you're coming home from work. Going to feel like you're in the single digits for just just a couple of hours, and then by tonight, dropping back down below 0 when it comes to what it will actually feel like. Now, in and around Charlotte, we always have to find a silver lining, and for us today, I think that it's beautiful outside. I mean, we have plenty of sunshine, wall-to-wall sunshine. Temperatures, though, are daytime highs. Look at this, 38 degrees, and we should be at 52. Carlene, you thought it was kind of on the cool side yesterday. I told you another thing was coming.
This sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I walked out this morning and said no.
Yeah.
No.
Can we just pack it up, start
Pack it
again?
up.
But you weren't surprised, though,
I wasn't
right?
surprised because you warned me. You're like, it's gonna get worse, and like, she was right. She was 100%
That's
right.
good. It's good I was right, but
were
sorry. So cold, sunny today. And again, here's the thing. It's cold outside right now, feeling like we're in the teens and 20s. Again, keyword, feeling like we're in the teens and 20s. Tonight, our actual air temperature will drop down into the teens. So waking up Friday morning, we're heading into the weekend, 19 degrees heading out the door tomorrow. So this is in Charlotte. So bus stop forecast tomorrow is going to be brutal. Make sure those kids, even if they don't want their coats, they need the coats. I mean, especially if you have to be outside for an extended amount of time.
Gloves,
It is
hat,
just too
yeah.
cold. All the winter things.
All the things.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's like we had 70s not even that long ago, and now temperatures in the teens. That's all over the place, definitely. The temperatures tomorrow, though, will start to climb back into the mid-40s, so at least starting to get a little bit warmer, but really we're going to stay below average for a while. Let's start breaking down the chances of actually seeing some snow in Charlotte, because, yeah, we got some snow in the mountains last night, early this morning. It really wasn't a whole lot for our local mountain towns, but we'll take the snow. We could have left the wind aside, but here's the thing. We're seeing models that are not completely agreeing, which is not anything too surprising at this point. We have our first track, kind of the one most to the south, best track for coastal snow. Okay, so we're going to be watching this coastal low move up the coastline, and it kind of depends on where it actually moves in, and that'll be dependent upon what kind of precipitation we get. Number 2, this will be the best track for Piedmont snow, and then number 3, this is usually just kind of a messy mix of rain, snow, sleet, all those things. So likely, do we have a chance of seeing some snow? I think we're going to at least see a little bit, of course, up in the mountains, but when this moves in, it would mainly impact us late Saturday night and into Sunday. We're comparing two different models, and this is a big dramatic difference. I mean, bottom line, model number 1 is showing spotty flurries east of Charlotte. Model number 2 is showing much more widespread snow for the mountains into the metro area. So it's one of those forecasts where we know that the elements are all gonna be there, but will they all come together at the same time? And this is kind of our heads up to you that yes, we could have some winter weather impacts, but the timing specifically is still a little too far out to say. So it's important to just stay close to our team as we learn more each day, each model run that comes out multiple times throughout the day. But again, this is kind of what some of the models are showcasing. So Saturday and into Sunday, the blue is indicating the higher total, so far off to the northwest of us. But where we have that white in areas shaded in gray, which is a large majority of our viewing area, we could get a little dusting of snow. That'd be exciting for me. I know not a lot of other people would be very excited, but that's one thing that we're keeping in mind. I mean,
She's a snow gal.
I'm a snow girl. I will always be rooting for snow because look, it's gone basically like within the next couple of hours too if we get it here.
Yeah, it's the hysteria around it that's I'm like not, you know.
The
Nick
viewers,
is just giving me the look.
the viewers at home, why is Nick so quiet?
Yeah. He's like, did he leave the studio?
He's got the deadest face.
Did he leave?
Not a big snow guy. but-
Right now, it doesn't seem like, even if it does all come together, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a ton, but I know it doesn't take much for huge impacts in and around the city. So we're watching that for sure. Let's talk one final check. Let's take a final check on the temperature. So over the next 10 days, today's cold, 38 degrees for our high. This weekend, if you're already making weekend plans, I know many of you are, Saturday's your day. That's the day. 54 degrees, that's going to be a nice one. And then that cold air starts to move in. We'll be watching that coastal low to see if it does produce any snowfall for us. But here's our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. I'm noticing lots of sunshine almost every day, gradually warming up, and then again Saturday to Sunday we'll watch to see how that system works its magic. So maybe some snow on Sunday.
Maybe.
And I just smile. Meanwhile, Nick is like,
At least
No.
it's Sunday. It was going to be on a Sunday and not like a
Yeah.
school day or
Yeah.
a work day where people, you know what I mean? Like if it's going to happen, like let it be on a Sunday where everybody can just be
Yeah.
at home and just
cozy,
stay home.
hot chocolate,
Just sit-
movies.
Just sit down and stay home. You know what I'm saying?
It could happen on January 32nd. I know that's not a real date.
It's still not, yeah,
I still
we're not
wouldn't want
hyped
to
for it.
snow.
No.
Oh, majestic,
We're
majestic.
not going to rain on Majestic's parade.
Yeah.
no.
Why
She's
are
a
you
snow
guys being
gal,
so
but we are
negative?
downers.
Like every time I bring up snow here in
Uh-huh.
Charlotte, since I moved here, everyone's like, "Ooh!" I'm like, "Look at this live shot in Blowing Rock. It's gorgeous, you guys." And they're like,
I like
"This is what you have to walk out to this morning." What in the world?
I love a day like today, or I mean, yes, it's cold, but
Yeah.
blue skies,
Yeah,
and
it's
I
pretty.
don't have to, walk around with snow boots. So
There you
Yeah.
go.
that's perfect. That's perfect for me. I'm good with that. All right,
You
majestic.
run this morning?
I did not. I got an early start, so I'm gonna work out a little later on the treadmill. But I do have a run group in the morning, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be 19 degrees in the morning.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I used to
guys.
forecast for Montana, and our reporters would go out during like winter snowstorms, and we'd go live to them. We're going live to them in Great Falls, Montana, and we go close, and their eyelashes would be frozen like snowflakes.
Oh wow.
Snowflakes, and it's not even out of the question. It would be like, okay, it's negative. It feels like it's negative 40 outside the door, and in Montana, like farmers are turning on. They rely on local news and meteorologists a lot. So like people are waking up and they're getting out there and they're doing it. So if anyone's complaining about a little dusting snow,
Yeah, it could be worse.
I mean, perspective, I
Yes.
guess.
I don't want my lashes
needs
to
that?
break off.
you're like, and that's why we live
That's
in
why
the
we live here.
Carolinas.
Who needs perspective? No, I mean, I mean, look, I'll probably still be at the run group. It would have to be like 40 below for me, like not to.
Does it hurt when you run in the snow?
No,
Does it feel refreshing?
Well, no, actually, I am.
I mean, not snow. I meant cold.
A cold? No. It doesn't hurt at all. I mean, obviously, it kind of sucks getting started,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
once you get started, it's like, okay, cool, we're out here.
Yeah.
But
doing
snow,
it.
I'm not that guy to run in snow.
You
No,
said forget
it's,
it.
it's not worth it.
Don't be a hero.
No. I'm not an Olympian. I'm just
Running in snow is quiet though. It's peaceful because everything's so
sure.
quiet. You put some of those tracks on your shoes, like those, they're kind of like chains.
Oh yeah. But
There you go.
once you twist your ankle on dry pavement and you
Oh.
know the possibilities in snow,
You're like, forget
you're
it.
like, nah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do that.
You're being smart. Yeah.
I try to be. Majestic Storm, thank you for stopping in.
Of course.
Let's get another check. We still have a live picture that we can show you. This is another check of I-485 outer loop. All right, that is a look at the mess there. You see that trooper there on the road sweeping up that aftermath. So again, a fatal vehicle crash closing all lanes on Interstate 485 outer loop near Oakdale Road in Mecklenburg County this morning, creating significant delays for commuters. This crash was reported at mile marker 18 near exit 18 at around 7:20 this morning. That's according to NCDOT. All three lanes remain closed as of right now. So we'll continue to keep an eye on this and continue to keep you updated. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sertivant. We want to send you now to Washington, D.C. We're happening live. Senate Democrats are talking about affordable housing. So this is Senator Chuck Schumer from New York. He, along with Senate Dems, having this affordable housing event. I'm reading this description. Just give me a second, guys. Well, Center for American Progress hosts a policy summit featuring Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer and other Senate Democrats on the, quote, the housing shortage and Senate Democrats' plan to lower housing costs as part of a larger agenda to make life more affordable for every American, end quote. Let's take a listen in to Senator Schumer.
Expanding necessary rental relief to even more Americans who need help with the crushing cost of rent. Second, boosting home ownership. Democrats will expand the promise of home ownership for every American looking to buy a home. Will help with down payment assistance, critical for the first-time and first-generation buyers. Will lower the cost of mortgage insurance. I don't know why that hasn't been done. So essential in these days when down payment costs so much. We'll expand access to portable and assumable mortgages as well. They should be portable, they should be assumable, much more easily than now. We'll reform homeowners insurance, which is now at a crisis level and so important for people who can't afford that down payment. And that's especially true on our coasts and in communities prone to wildfires. Homeowners insurance is vital, and the cost is going through the roof so that people can't sell their homes, people can't buy their homes. It's so important to reform. Now, these are just some of the ideas on the table that a Democratic majority will push to make home ownership easier, less expensive, more sustainable. Excuse me. Third, predatory companies. Democrats will hit back at predatory institutions that are guilty of raising prices, abusing tenants, shutting millions of working and middle-class families out of the housing market. Even though some of our Republicans don't get it, corporations are not people, and they shouldn't be allowed to gobble up entire neighborhoods so easily and turn them into profit machines. A Democratic majority would work to put a stop on this poisonous trend. As I said, even Donald Trump says he likes this idea. Too bad he'll never get it done. The Republicans in the House and Senate will not do it. We have to get the majority to do these things. Democrats will also crack down on companies that artificially raise prices by using price-fixing algorithms to help landlords collude with each other and figure out how they can squeeze the maximum rent out of each individual in each individual case. It's using technology for a very bad purpose. And one of my favorites, which I've delivered on for years, I used to do Sunday press conferences on this. It's one of my favorite policies. It's ending junk fees. In this case, rental junk fees that prey upon families already struggling to keep up with the rent. Fourth, build more housing. We have to build more housing. Plain and simple, no ands, ifs, or buts. A Democratic majority will launch a national effort, a nationwide mission to build housing to reduce costs in every state, every community, every neighborhood in need. We'll work with anyone. Democrats, Republicans, federal, state, local leaders, labor leaders, developers, faith leaders, anyone to get it done. And a good start, again, is for the Republican House to pass the Road to Housing Act. The Senate's done its job, thanks to the leadership of Elizabeth Warren. And now the House and Donald Trump must do theirs and get the road to housing over the finish line. But we have to do more. Elizabeth and everyone else says that's just the first step. There's a lot more that must be done. We must cut unnecessary red tape, and encourage local zoning reform by providing incentives and disincentives, carrots and sticks, for localities to reform outdated rules, to wipe away rules that get in the way of building housing. Senator Schatz has been a great leader on this, and we'll have more to say about it. We have so many talented people in our caucus, and my job is to take those ideas and blend them and weave them into one strong program that we can all support. And Schatz has been great on this issue. We'll also expand the Housing Trust Fund to create new middle-class and create a new middle-class housing emergency fund to invest in public housing. Senators Warren and Warnock are working on this already. And we'll work to get Fannie and Freddie to provide a national secondary market for construction loans to finance multifamily housing. Making construction loans cheaper makes housing more available and more affordable to many. I also have legislation I'm working on with Senator Duckworth to empower HUD to invoke the DPA, the Defense Production Act, guaranteeing the purchase of housing materials in short supply and scaling production of modular and manufactured housing. This is something Senator Slotkin has also called for. But again, the DPA, when there was a national emergency, a war, we used the DPA. We have a national emergency in housing. Use the same thing, the same basic policy tool. We also want to create a new ARPA home program, which will provide new thinking and new innovation to bring housing costs down. DARPA did it for defense. We can do it for housing with a housing ARPA. So this is just one of the many pieces of legislation we've worked on, and we benefited from CAP's knowledge and insight because they helped create these ideas. Separately, we're also going to work to expand something that's been something I've long championed, even when I was in the House, and that is the Low-Income Housing Tax Credit, LIHTC. Maria Cantwell's done great work on this as well, and we know this works. So, now, as we talk about increasing construction, every single one of us must be clear about something else that's important. Democrats will reject the false choice between building more housing and paying our construction workers a decent wage. We will not abandon organized labor like Donald Trump. We will empower them by ensuring they receive good pay, safety on the job, and with legislation to train a new generation of trades workers to build America, including housing. Finally, housing security for all. We must ensure financial security and opportunity for all communities. That means we need some targeted investments to end homelessness, to provide quality housing for veterans and for seniors, to rebuild communities that have been left behind, and we will enforce fair housing laws to deliver fair and affordable housing to all Americans. Now, these are just some of the things that Democrats will push to lower housing costs for the American people. As you can see, we've thought this through. We have a broad and comprehensive program that can really work. So, this is what our Opportunity Starts at Home agenda looks like. As I've mentioned before, because I'm so passionate about this, in the weeks and months to come, you'll hear from Senate Democrats on our plan to lower other costs as well. Food costs, energy costs, the cost of groceries, health care, child care, and so many other things that Americans pay for every day. The point is this, folks. Republicans had their chance to show Americans they're serious about solving the housing crisis, and they have failed. They have failed. So, we Democrats will offer what the American people desperately need, a way forward. That's what our Opportunity Starts at Home agenda does. It shows the way forward to revive our nation's housing policy. The dream of owning a home might seem like a mirage now, but there's no good reason it cannot turn into a new oasis of future prosperity. Democrats are ready to get to work. We want to deliver on the vision of the right of every family to a decent home. We have the right ideas, we have the right proposals, and once we get the majority, we can start bringing these ideas to life. I welcome your involvement in making this happen. Thank you. numbers all over the place. Some people get one of those books. I think I need to turn the pages.
Thank you so much, Senator Schumer, for the really robust agenda. And we're really grateful again for you announcing the start of the Senate Democrats' affordability agenda. And opportunity at home really is, opportunity starts at home really does encapsulate it. I'll just start off on a general question, which is, in some of the research we've done polling on housing before, and we found that in our data, 3 out of 4 Americans, 3 out of every 4 Americans, 75% of Americans think housing affordability is a top concern. You are outlining a broad.
All right, so that is Senator Chuck Schumer, along with other Senate Democrats there. They're talking about affordable housing. Let's step aside. Let's come back here at home, and we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturtevant. Today is January 15th, and today marks 17 years, 17 years since the Miracle on the Hudson. That is the U.S. Airways Flight 1549 that was leaving from LaGuardia Airport in New York en route to Charlotte Douglas Airport when the engines were blown out by a bird strike. And I'm a scary situation. Pilot Chesley Sully Sullenberger made the decision to land the plane in the Hudson River in New York, and none of the 155 passengers were injured. You're talking about an incredible story. It's played out on screen. Tom Hanks playing Sully himself. Have you got a chance to meet Sully?
No.
I know he's still here, I
Yeah.
believe, in the Charlotte area.
I haven't gotten the pleasure to know, and I would like to get over to the museum.
Museum is cool. I was there.
Have you been?
A couple of. You think about working in TV, it's like your
Right.
time is kind of
Time
like,
blurs.
time
Yeah.
blurs. I believe it was a couple of years ago, 2024. I went over there as they were opening, where they were reimagining or opening.
They kind of redesigned the
Yeah.
whole aviation museum. Yeah.
And so got a chance to go inside, and really cool, a great experience. Didn't get a chance to meet Sully,
Yeah.
but they're incredible folks there working in that museum, making things happen. Another incredible person, Richard Devane, incredible
Devane.
reporter for us. He was there inside the Sullenberg Aviation Museum, which is basically next door to Charlotte Douglas Airport. Talked with the folks there on this 17th anniversary. Let's take a listen in.
17 years ago on January 15, 2009, Captain Sullenberger and First Officer Jeffrey Skiles landed this Airbus A320 on the Hudson River. All 155 people that were aboard the aircraft that day, 150 passengers, 5 crew members, all lived to tell the tale. So it's just a miraculous thing that happened. And now we have this aircraft in Charlotte telling its story.
One of the things we were talking about earlier was the fact that bird strikes, we found out, are kind of common with planes, but the fact that it actually 2 bird strikes or 2 locations, both engines, right?
Yeah, so in 2023, the FAA reported that 30,000 wildlife strikes occurred with aircraft in the United States, but the difference between that and what happened with the Miracle on the Hudson is that 2 birds were ingested into each engine, which actually caused dual engine failure, and this is an incredibly rare scenario that very well could have led to extreme loss of life and disaster, and ultimately that did not happen because of the expertise of the crew.
And also, for those folks who come to this museum, the Sullenberger Museum, there is so much more than just this. We're talking about this today, but there's other things you can experience here, right?
Exactly, yeah. So we have over 40 aircraft in our collection, and we like to tell the story of all of them. We tell the story of significant Carolinas aviators as well. We have 2 galleries now and an outdoor plaza for people to enjoy. So we have a lot to offer. Even if you don't like aviation, or you don't think you like aviation, you might like Charlotte history, you might like women's history, black history. We have something for everybody.
Great one-on-one there, Richard Devane. He's there at the Aviation Museum. Again, 17th anniversary. I can't believe it's been 17 years.
Do you remember it?
I do. I do, and it was one of those things. It's like, is this really happening
That's
right now?
that's I think what I remember.
That's-
It's like it kind of is a blur. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it
Like,
is,
'cause
yeah.
We were younger.
Yeah.
But I remember being looking at the screen, and be like, what?
Yeah.
Like you're not like fully grasping
Yeah.
what you're seeing on the screen.
I was like 17, 18 at the
Yeah.
time. And I'm like, is this
Yeah, I was a
really
teenager.
happening? And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is in New York. Wait, from Charlotte?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sully, again, one of those sort of giants in the aviation
Yes.
industry here in Charlotte. I didn't realize he was still here in Charlotte until I actually moved here
Right.
a few years ago. So if you have a chance, go by that museum. It's over there by Charlotte Douglas Airport. A great museum. Carlene, you
I
gotta
do need to go. I do need to go. It's one of those things I've been needing to do.
My brother, I got to refer him. My brother's an aeronautical engineer, so yeah. That,
Yeah. Get
I
him
know.
up
I
here.
told him about it,
Get
but you
him
know,
with the fam. Get 'em all up here.
Kids, family. I
Yeah.
think it just he kind of forgot. But because my nephew's been going to football camps here
Sure,
in the
sure,
area,
sure.
so I think this is a reason for him to go.
Spend an afternoon.
Spend an afternoon. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Serta. Everyone head back now to Washington, D.C. We're happening right now. We heard from Senator Chuck Schumer earlier, but a discussion on affordable housing. We're going to hear from Senate Democrats. Again, we heard from Senator Schumer earlier, but let's take a listen in to what's being said.
By correcting exclusionary zoning and land use policies. We know there's a lot more work to do here, but this is an incredibly important policy. He also co-authored the bipartisan YIMBY Act, which encourages the localities to cut onerous regulations and make it easier to build. Senator Duckworth has long been a strong advocate for safe and affordable housing for the most vulnerable. As President Obama's Assistant Secretary for Veterans Affairs, she worked to end veteran homelessness, and in the Senate, she has fought for new funding to support and modernize public housing. Both Senator Schatz and Senator Duckworth represent the kind of leadership our country needs right now. They are looking for solutions to this crucial problem, and I'm so grateful that they are here. And please, I'd love to welcome you to the stage. How are you guys?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. We just had a great conversation with Senator Schumer about the broad agenda that you guys are working on to lower costs. Housing is a comprehensive problem, and there's a range of challenges. But I guess I wanted to just first start off with both of you. You come from very different states. You're both working on housing from different angles. but all focused on lowering costs, making it much more affordable. So I'd love to just get your perspective to just start off why you're focused on housing and what is the most important set of issues from your perspective. Senator Duckworth?
Well, for me, it's about the fact, my lived experience, that buying that home, my first home, was really the first step to generational wealth for my family, right? I grew up poor. I was on food stamps. My dad was unemployed. I was, literally 6 hours away from being homeless at one point. Headed to a homeless shelter in Hawaii where I was living when a lady wrote a check that got my family and I into a pay-by-the-week motel. And using that VA home loan to buy my first home with no money down, $93,000 was this house out in the cornfields of Illinois, was the first step, because then we leveraged that, and then later on we bought the $200,000 house, and then, that experience of, oh, now we have some equity, some capital in the family, and that was the first step in my family on either side towards actual home ownership and owning something. And so I want that for everyone. But I have young staff members who cannot buy a home. They're out of touch. I've talked to, I had this experience where in Illinois, in Galesburg, Illinois, the city manager could not buy a home in his city because they were all out of reach, because there was no stock.
Yeah.
And when there was stock and he tried to build a prefab home, the quote that he got was $500,000. He says, I can't build a $1,000 home in Galesburg, Illinois, where the average home, I will be in a pit. So the fact that it continues to escalate, the prices of homes in Illinois, whether it's Chicago or Bloomington or Galesburg, has increased at the over 38 to 40% rate, far outpacing income.
Yeah, that point, which is so central, which is that housing is how people build wealth in our country, that the value of the house is really the vast majority of Americans, except for the very top percentage. That's how they're building wealth, not just for their future, for their retirement, for their kids' future. And when that's inaccessible, or you access it so much later in life, it's harder to build that wealth over your life. Senator Schatz, what has brought you to this set of issues?
I've been radicalized on housing, and the reason is that our shortage nationwide, but especially in Hawaii, is so acute that people can't make the math work anymore. In Hawaii, people are paying more than 50% all in of their income for housing, either rental housing or paying a mortgage. And what I have come to realize is that we are the problem. And it is hard to be a proud member of the party that wants to defend the government and to say that the government is the primary impediment to alleviating the shortage. It has resulted in some very difficult conversations at the Manoa Safeway with some old friends, politically old friends, and some personal old friends who are saying, hey, what are you doing here? But for me, when I joined the banking committee, I'm no longer on the banking committee, but when I joined the banking committee, I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't quite understand that all of the, in my view, curdling of the environmental movement into this aggressive sort of John Birch Society NIMBYism, that I've got mine, and I'm going to protect my view and my personal convenience over the needs of the many. It made me realize that we've got some family conversations to conduct.
Yes.
And that I think one of the things that's happening because Trump is in charge of the government is we are no longer reflexively defending every agency, every law, every rule, every process. And it gives us this opportunity to say, hey, look, in the state of Hawaii, we've got extraordinary, and we should, environmental and cultural protections. But they are designed to protect special places, whether it's biodiversity or cultural significance. They were not originally conceived to prevent a walk-up apartment building on the corner of Eisenberg and King to house Native Hawaiian families. And yet those same laws are being weaponized against people in Hawaii even being able to live in the state of Hawaii. And so I think we have to solve the politics before, I mean, I got all kinds of policy proposals, as does Tammy, as do others, but I actually think we have to have this family conversation around the politics of housing and realize that some of our base voters in the suburbs who are otherwise good all the way down the line on all the progressive issues also want to prevent a nurse or a firefighter or the disabled or the elderly or the student from living anywhere near them. And we have to have that conversation in the Progressive Coalition. It's a perfect time to do it because there is a little bit of time, but I have come to the conclusion that we're not going to unlock the policy unless we shift the politics. And so I am, maybe against my own sort of political interests, having fights with the family to make sure that we say there's nothing progressive about preventing homes from being built.
Yeah,
So, just to follow up on that point,
absolutely.
these ideas are connected, right? Because one of the challenges in the United States, which is different from other places, is that people are building up so much of their wealth in their home, which makes them, the people who have the homes, anxious about increasing supply because that means the value of their home could decline. So, but that, for leaders at the local level in particular, then that's a trade-off because it makes it much more difficult to attract younger people into your community. You have to really, you have to address the fact that cities can essentially become unaffordable. Places can become unaffordable. So I guess the area of opportunity here is there's federal legislation, and CAP's proposal is to incentivize localities with federal funds and use the carrot and stick approach. But also we are seeing innovations at the state level. California has addressed some of the issues around environmental regulation that just stops housing. New York State is now looking at SECRA reform, just something that just rolls off the tongue. So I guess how do you see this family conversation playing out, given some of these blue states now are transforming their policies?
I think it's great, right? You have a number of Democratic governors and Democratic legislatures and mayors who are coming to realize a couple of things. First, this just is an urgent problem, and one of the problems I think politically for us over the last decade or so is that it's fine to describe a problem and even describe your solution set in such a way that is maximally popular, right? But when it's governing time, there may be a split between the way you characterize the problem and what is necessary to be done. And I think one of the things that we need to be ready to do is to actually deliver not on things that sound popular, but things that will alleviate the shortage of housing. And those are not all, sometimes they're the same thing, but sometimes they're not. And I just, my own judgment is that as we talk about affordability, you got to look at most people's expenses. And most people, it's housing, right? That comprises the largest percentage of their monthly expenses, unless someone's providing housing or for them, or unless they've already paid down their mortgage completely, and God bless if they have, but most of us are not in that position. And so I just, you know, I just think that we have to be a little rough with each other, you know, rough on the issues, easy on each other, of course.
This isn't the Trump administration. We're just rough everywhere.
Yeah, but I just...
And vindictive.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm just worried, I'm worried that we will describe this thing in the maximally popular way and not describe what we actually need to do to alleviate the shortage. There's a nationwide shortage. It should not be accepted that, like in the state of Hawaii, we're about 60,000 units short. I think California's maybe 2 million short. But in the state of Hawaii, 60,000 units is doable. But we have to not accept the premise that, well, you know, we're land constrained and we're far away and land is expensive. The reason that it's hard to build housing is that we've done a bunch of things intentionally to make it hard to build housing. And yes, that's mostly local, but there are a lot of federal levers that we have yet to sort of use.
Excellent. Can I turn to you, Senator Duckworth, and your experience on veterans housing, and really grateful for your sharing your experience. But I think veteran housing and homelessness policies is fascinating because this is an area where the federal government acted, President Obama, your leadership had a direct focus on reducing veteran homelessness by making it easier for veterans to access homes. And it was an incredibly successful policy. Veteran homelessness in the Obama administration dramatically declined. What lessons do you take from that? I mean, because basically, as a federal government, we said, we just don't accept veteran homelessness. So we're willing to invest in it. And we're willing to make housing much more affordable for veterans. But support for that kind of stopped with veterans. So how do you, but I think we learned a lot of lessons, but basically if you actually invest, make it more financially affordable, people will actually take those homes. So how do you see that, the experience with veterans and our successes there, and what lessons can we take from that?
I think that's a great question, and it is out of that experience with trying to end veterans' homelessness that has brought me to this housing affordability issue. And I want to touch on what Brian said about the levers of government that are there. In VA, what we had to do was first we had to change the thinking at VA to get veterans off the street. So when we had homeless veterans, VA used to say, you have to get clean and sober, and then we'll give you a voucher to get into an apartment. And so it made no sense, right? So we had to change the thinking to what the homelessness community had been working on, which is reduction of harm. Get them into the housing and then work on getting them clean and sober. And by changing that thought, we were able to immediately start pulling veterans off the streets, put them into housing units where they immediately were also getting counseling, getting treatment.
Yeah, reduce.
We were telling veterans, you can't come to VA and get your health care for your chronic condition unless you can pass the drug test. And like, they're on the streets, right? And so it was crazy. We had to change that. We had to change VA regulations. So there is that lever that we can take place at, that we can work on. We can also use the power of buying, the power of the government, to leverage. We can leverage that either through VA or also the VA home loan process or with military housing. So for example, there are things that we can do when we, under the VA home loan program, want to make sure that the veteran gets into the safest housing possible. But the inspection process and the approval process and the lack of housing inspectors in the VA system means that if you make a bid and you win a bid on.
All right, so that's that live discussion there about affordable housing in Washington, D.C. Let's come back here to Charlotte. Let's come back here home. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sertivant. 2,300 miles. Yes, 2,300 miles. That is the number of miles Buddhist monks are walking throughout the country, and they're here in the Charlotte area. An amazing sight to see. Not only them walking through our area, but the amount of people that are there to see those monks. We have video from last night. Let's show you some video. This is from last night as they got to Charlotte off of Tyvola Road. There, you see all those people.
Yeah.
A lot of people there. It is like celebrities.
Yeah.
And we've heard interviews from folks there. A few folks have gotten emotional talking about this experience. One of those people, you don't see him in the crowd there because he's probably there a little earlier, is here in studio. Chris Mulcahy, he's a familiar face here.
Hello.
I think you recognize him, Chris Mulcahy.
I've been here once before. Honestly, I want to talk about this as much as possible, and I was actually there later, and I'm so sorry. I never know how to pronounce this. It's the Marion Dale or Deal Recreation Center.
Marion Deal. Yep.
Deal, yeah. That's where it was, and we didn't get there for a while because we were eating. We have a toddler, a 3-year-old, but we got there and we walked just under a mile to get there. And there were hundreds of people leaving and hundreds of people walking there when I got there. And literally we're talking about thousands of people standing in a circle around one of these monks talking. And I couldn't see him, but I took in every single word he said. And I think that was truly one of the most life-changing speeches I've ever heard in my entire life.
Do you mind sort of kind of going through what you heard?
100%.
Yeah.
All right, so when we first got there, and I don't know what he had said earlier, he essentially was preaching mindfulness. The first thing that we did was taking deep breaths, not focusing in on making them long or short, just breathing.
Okay, breathing.
And mindfulness is one thing that I am struggling at just trying to do, and I've tried to do before, is it's literally focusing in on every second of the now. So say if you're taking a shower, you're focusing in on the water hitting your scalp, how it feels, what you're feeling at that point, not what am I going to do later today? What's that regret that I had from 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
It's about literally each and every second. As a parent, it's about me like, hey, I'm focusing on my kid. It's not worrying, am I doing a good job? Or I have to do this later. Or what if I did that? It's literally each and every moment trying to live in that moment of peace. And one quote that I can take away is that we're not going to be able to achieve world peace until we can all achieve our own inner peace. And that one really stuck with me because all of us are so busy on the go. Yeah. And he's always telling us to slow down. And this was confusing at first, but he says that we're all distracted by our lovers. And we're like, well, he's not talking about people. He's talking about our phones. We love our phones. And the sad thing when I was there is I couldn't see, but all I saw was these screens up everywhere. And it's great to have the video.
Yeah.
But it was actually even better to kind of take it in and not be behind the screen.
Yeah.
Because there were certain things that happened. And as he's talking about mindfulness, we were supposed to be quiet, of course. I have a 3-year-old. JT did wonderful, and I'm so proud.
I think
of
he was
him.
captivated.
Yeah.
He was captivated.
He's captivated, but we kept our phones in our pockets because as parents, you're so just the first thing. I want to take a video of this.
Yeah.
Well, we turned around, just embracing this is where I'm going to get emotional, and we're on a slight hill, and JT just not coordinated was just slowly rolling down this hill. He was having the time of his life, and that's the best thing about children is that they are mindful. They live each and every moment. They have no worries.
Yeah.
So watching his joy, and I wasn't worried, oh, he's rolling and there's other people around. We just were able to take it in and see his joy.
Yeah.
And really, if you're able to take those moments bit by bit, it was almost surreal just hearing him talk. It sounds so simple, but it's so complex. But if you can do your best to try to leave the worries behind, leave the aggression behind on things, the way he referred to as don't let the tiger and the monkey in your mind control your mind. And that means the tiger is aggression. That's the thing, is where he says to always think before you react. And the monkey is always the overthinking that we constantly do, or oftentimes where we multitask. Now, women have a hard time with this because men are terrible at multitasking. My wife will totally agree with this, especially if they're moms. It's impossible for them not to multitask, thinking about everything.
Yeah.
But just even as Kim is a mom and ourselves together, there was a few moments that we looked at each other and just listening to the words and really processing it. I felt it hit my soul, man. It was, I had core memories listening to these people, that they're so inspiring, that they're not just walking for peace. They're also teaching people their ways for the people that really want to listen. And I'll never be the same the greatest way after listening to this wonderful man. I don't even know what he looks like because I didn't even get to see him because there was so many people.
Man, I felt that as you were saying that, because we were chatting about it earlier, and we don't live in the present.
No.
Like even now, or even minutes before you walk there, I'm thinking about what I got to do before, or what I got to do after the show. What do
kind
we?
of our job.
That is our job, and sometimes it's just good to just be in the moment.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I was saying some of this earlier on our show, and I was just listing different advice, and he said, make sure to slow down. And all of a sudden, they're like, wrap my ear, and I was like, all right, meanwhile, it's going to be 38 degrees today. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was actually disappointing leaving, because when we left, it was over. It was winding down at that point. And the cool thing is they give everyone out a prayer bracelet.
Yeah.
Wow. And yeah, we were lucky enough to actually get one. And he says, hey, there are so many people here, not everyone's going to get one, but everyone has an invisible one on. So you both have invisible prayer bracelets on. But leaving, I felt rushed because people are behind me, like just trying to get out, just because the amount of people were there, and I was just like, you guys weren't listening to anything.
The completely opposite of way.
Yeah, I actually heard two people yelling at each other, and they used the word hate. It's so easy to get away with it because as soon as you get out of that surreal bubble, all of a sudden life hits you, and I understand.
Yeah.
Charlotte traffic, it's impossible to really be like,
Right.
oh, this is great. I'm gonna slow down, but it's so easier said than done with every little bit of this. But I thought there was one other piece of advice. Is he says the simplistic thing you can do, and I did it on mine, is on a piece of paper write, today is going to be my peaceful day.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So it says, I didn't do the going. I just said, today is my peaceful day. But today is going to be my peaceful day. And Kim actually wrote it on the mirror, and I woke up to it in our bathroom.
Wow.
Yeah, because like we really took this seriously. There's just certain things in life that you realize is like, wow, because these people are so special. What they're doing, they're spreading word. Like the amount of people there, Nick, was crazy. So where Marion, was it Dale?
Yeah, Dale. Yep.
We walked about a mile to get there, so we kind of went on our own peace walk there as well. But all the side roads were crammed because everyone parked there. So you're literally talking about thousands of people in a small neighborhood that were going to see these wonderful men. Meanwhile, you have thousands of communities that are also doing the same thing. So they're impacting millions of people. For the people that want to listen, actually showing you that maybe there is hope for some peace. Now it takes everyone's individual, but it's really surreal because you see people walking, and I didn't get to see the silence, but actually we're going back around Concord. We want to see them actually walk.
We mentioned this earlier, so this is a new development because I didn't know if you were going to make it to Concord, but okay.
Yeah, we're gonna just to try to see them walk, and I have to say, there's one thing they said, and he said that angry people, that people want to walk with them, and they said, don't walk with us, because they felt crowded. Because sadly, so many people, I feel honestly, want to go because they want to get a video and they want to show that they were there. Be there, be present. But they said, don't walk next to us, walk behind us. So what they're saying is, if they're walking by you on the road, have them walk by, and then you can walk in peace, in silence behind them. Just because when you're crowded, think about that. If you're closed in, they're feeling rushed.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, and they're not able to live their own peace as well. So that's one thing that they did pass on to the crowd, and I'm passing it on to anyone that's watching here, is that walking behind them is still with them. It's just that don't crowd them and let them do their thing. And they also have a dog with them too.
I did not know that. I didn't see the dog at all.
Yeah, so you can actually follow the dog as well. And Kim has been a big follower of this since Texas. So this is why I know
it
all
started
about
in
this.
Fort
That's why
Worth.
we went. The dog actually, from where they're from, was a stray, and they would go on their daily walks, and it would follow along with them. And they ended up adopting the dog, and the dog is now here with them, going on this peace walk as well.
Man, that is incredible. I'm glad you were able to experience that. Not only for yourself, but you talk about, JT. I mean, he's going to remember this he's going to have some memory of this for the rest
It's
of
there.
his life. It's there. It's ingrained. Man, now you got to update me on tomorrow on what happens.
I'll be here, and truly what he says about trying to find peace in your day.
Yeah.
And peace doesn't have to be quiet. It's just about trying to live in the moment and just forget about the future, forget about the past. He said at work, just try to take 1 minute of peace, 1 minute per hour. I know it's so tough.
Come on, Carlene, you got to do it.
I hear, like, I feel like I try to live in the moment, and I do sometimes, but as a person who, I'll be transparent here, who has ADD, the thought of just, like,
Peace, yeah.
for, like, a whole minute is like, to just shut off.
I made it 30 seconds, I
That's
think.
what I'm like, yeah, we're similar, like, cut from the same cloth in that way, that we're like, we're go, this, that, look at this thing, that thing. Like, the thought of just shutting down
and what he
all the time.
and what he actually said is, like, say if you're a carpenter, that sometimes people listen to music. Sometimes it's just about really focusing in directly on the one task. So it could be as simple as that.
Yeah.
So say if you're soldering, just doing the soldering, just focusing in on that, every little detail, just trying to be entwined to every little thing, every little detail that you do. And again, I have ADHD as well. It's been nearly impossible. I'm not a changed man. Emotionally, I am. And it's so much easier said than done. It's impossible to slow down all the time, but that's what makes these guys so amazing, is because they've trained their whole lives
Well, it takes practice.
to be this inspiring, I have to say.
And maybe Carlene is focusing, maybe like if you're writing an email, maybe it takes a minute to write an email.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm also I'm saying this to you, but I'm also saying it to myself.
It's a good starting point.
Yeah, it's a good starting point. Yeah.
Because we have this little quiet room down here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
went and sat in darkness, and then I thought it was like 2 minutes, and I thought it was like 30 seconds and stuff. So it's gonna take a long time, but it's just like that moment with JT. And I find myself all the time is that you want to capture the pictures and the videos.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better just to
Be in a moment.
just be in the moment, because you might forget it, but most likely it's implanted in there.
Man. And we're in the moment right now.
See, we were. You were listening.
I was
You were
there. I was in the story. I was in the moment.
Well, usually we're talking about football or weather and stuff like that, and that's why, like, I actually asked him, I was like, "Hey, can I talk about this?" Because this is a really special thing that we are able to get these inspiring people to walk through Charlotte.
Yeah.
And I really hope that anyone is watching still gives the opportunity, because they're making a lot of ground fast.
Yeah. I'm like, man, I didn't even. It felt like just like yesterday. We were like, oh, okay, like they still have a ways to go before they get here, and I'm like,
They're moving.
they're moving. They're not playing any games. But I've seen so many posts. There's so much inspiration that comes from this, especially in a time where there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lack of hope. So I'm glad that this provides hope for a lot of folks, and I'm glad outside of the what you experience with people trying to get out, it's been pretty peaceful.
No, and it overall was, and then
Yeah.
you see different examples, and that's also another thing. It's so easy to focus on the negative in life,
Yeah.
and that's also one thing with the world is for everyone to find inner peace. It's never gonna happen, just because everyone is caught up in their own moments, their own world, especially like in a busy city. I just think really when it comes down to the end, if people can just at times find ways to find their inner peace. I'm still looking for mine, but if you have an opportunity, because they started walking at 7, they take a break, and I believe they're at Charlotte Motor Speedway. They ended their walk at 6 yesterday. You can follow them online. From 6 to 9, this gentleman was talking, and he was funny. Like, he was making me laugh. I didn't expect that. Yet, like, this man was so intelligent. That's what I love to know what he looked like. But his words were like stuck with me. Like I said, I didn't write anything down at the time. That's just everything that I just remember that is almost implanted there. No, I did write it down today just in case I did forget because I'm a goldfish. But at the moment, so I'm just here to say, even if you can't, there's other videos. Continue to follow their journey because it's inspiring. I've never seen anything like this before.
Me neither. Yeah.
And we are so lucky that Charlotte got to be part of the journey.
A great start to the year.
Heck yeah,
2026.
man.
A great one of those things that we're gonna look back and be like, man, we started 2026 with this.
Talking about a good omen, right here.
I forgot, Chris. Are you doing weather for us? I know we were just talking about living in the moment.
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I had to ask.
About peace.
I didn't want to be. Like,
You're thinking too far ahead.
I didn't want to say peace, Chris, and then Chris is like, so I just wanted to give an open space.
No, I wanted to come in here and just be mindful Mulcahy for once.
Yeah.
No, and that's the
Yeah.
intention. But I wanted to create space.
No, I appreciate it. For
So there you
creating
go.
space.
See, I was listening. I was listening.
You were listening. Yeah, and we brought it up about like the overactive minds. Like sometimes we're always kind of passively listening sometimes in our day-to-day just because you are always kind of thinking about something.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So thanks for listening. I appreciate it, guys. I felt heard. And hopefully you pass some of that along. Start with 1 minute and see if you can build that mindfulness from there. Again, I'm up to 30 seconds, so I'm not a good example, but do your best.
Man, that room over there, that quiet room over there is going to be, we're going to have a reservation
Yep.
list.
I know, but the problem with the quietness leaves a lot of quietness for thoughts. So you're like, no, get out of here. Come on. Stop it.
Chris Mulcahy, as always, man, thank you. Mindfulness Thursdays with Chris Mulcahy. I like that segment. That's a pretty good segment right there.
I'll be back next Thursday.
All right, man. Thank you for stopping by.
Of course.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. All right, so we want to get an update. We got an update. We want to give you an update. We got an update from Verizon. You remember yesterday that massive outage there impacting a lot of people. Carly, you have Verizon, right?
I have Verizon. I didn't get hit with it, but other people in our newsroom did.
Yeah. People I know got impacted. So, all right. So we got this statement this morning from Verizon. So Verizon says, quote, yesterday we did not meet the standard of excellence our customers expect and that we expect of ourselves. To help provide some relief to those affected, we will give customers a $20 account credit that can be easily redeemed by logging into the My Verizon app to accept. On average, this covers multiple days of service. Our business customers will be contacted directly about their credits. The credit isn't meant to make up for what happened. No credit really can, but it's a way of acknowledging our customers' time and showing that this matters to us. If customers are still experiencing issues, we encourage them to start their devices or restart their devices to reconnect to the network. We are sorry for what our customers experience and will continue to work hard day and night to provide the outstanding network and service that people expect from Verizon. Again, that is a statement from Verizon. The crux of that, if you're a Verizon customer impacted, obviously, by yesterday, you're getting a $20 account credit. All right, so as more information comes in about what exactly happened, we'll be sure to update you. But that is the latest from Verizon following that outage on yesterday. All right, so let's shift gears. We want to go now to Fairfax County, Virginia. The Au Pair Affair murder trial is underway. It looks like a witness is coming to the stand. You see it there? So this trial revolves around a Virginia man, Brendan Banfield, facing trial for aggravated murder, accused by prosecutors of an elaborate double murder scheme to frame another man in his wife's stabbing. It is day 3 of the trial. Let's take a listen in.
Y, L-E-A-C-H.
How are you currently employed?
With the Fairfax County Police.
Are you assigned to a particular unit?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do for that unit?
I'm a detective with the Major Crime Scene Unit.
All right. How long have you held that position?
I've been with the Crime Scene Unit for 22 years, with the last 8.5 in major crimes.
All right. Were you employed in that role on February 24th, 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. On that date, did you respond to an incident at Stablebrook Way?
Yes, ma'am.
Approximately what time did you arrive?
It was approximately 9:44 a.m.
All right. And who was on scene when you arrived, if you recall?
When I got on scene, there was several patrol units, homicide detectives. From my unit, there was Detective Falk, Detective Fortner, Sergeant Fortner now, and Detective Szyminski and myself.
All right. What was your role in this investigation?
I was assigned as the lead crime scene detective.
And what are the general responsibilities of a lead crime scene detective?
The lead crime scene detectives is the primary liaisons between the crime scene section and the lead homicide detective. We're also responsible for managing the scene, delegating out tasks. We also work if there's any needs for any more personnel or equipment. We go with our supervisors. And after we clear scenes, we're responsible for all the evidence handling, documentation. If there's any lab submissions or anything like that, we take care of it.
And that role carries through to today, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so if we want evidence, it's coming from you, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. When you entered the Banfield's primary bedroom on that day, February 24th, 2023, what were your initial observations?
When you first go into the bedroom, on your left-hand side would be I call it a sitting area. It's like a little side room. We're separated from the main bedroom area by a see-through fireplace. In the main room, you had a bed, and it had a nightstand on each side. To your immediate right would be a long dresser with a TV on top of it. On the far wall was a tall dresser. On that same wall as the dresser with a TV was the double doors that led into the primary bathroom, which then had a closet off of it.
Okay. How did you and your team go about documenting this scene?
Once we did our initial walkthrough, we first did photography. We did all our photos, and then I had Detective Szyminski go through with the Faro laser scanner.
All right, tell me about that Faro laser scanner. What does it do?
The Faro is a laser device, and it sits on top of a tripod. And what it does, it uses LiDAR technology. It will spin in a 360 degrees. As it's spinning, it'll do laser measurements. It'll do millions of points of measurement. And then once that's completed, it'll go around one more time, and it'll take photos. Then when we post-process it back at the office with software developed just for that scanner, it will create 3D models and 2D models. The 2Ds are called orthos, and all that is, it's a bird's eye view of what the scanner built.
You shared one of those orthos with me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I'm going to ask at this point in time to admit into evidence Commonwealth 98 under seal and publish it to the witness and the jury.
All right, no objection, correct? Okay, 98 under seal.
Can you see the Faro on your?
Yes, ma'am. It's the ortho scan of this second floor.
Okay, so help us orient, and it's a really busy picture, you would agree?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a lot going on because this is an interpretation of what was actually present at the scene from this angle and aerial view. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you can see where I've kind of zoomed us in here to this black rectangle at the top that my cursor is on, what is that?
That's going to be the foyer to the main floor, bottom
Okay.
floor. What happened is why it's black is the Faro is a line of sight.
So it drops down, it's 2 stories, right?
It's a
The
2-story,
foyer's
it's a
wide
very
open.
tall foyer, yes, ma'am. And
Okay.
that's the stairs to the left, right there. That would be the
Yep.
stairs coming up from the landing.
Okay, tell me about, on the left of our screen, this bedroom here,
That was the upstairs bedroom.
okay? And if I zoom out a little bit and reorient us, what's going on in this bedroom in the far left lower corner?
That's the Banfield's daughter's room,
Okay, and this middle bedroom?
guest room.
Okay, so taking us back out to the hallway and then shifting over, which, we're gonna do it like that. What room is this?
And that's going to be the primary suite, primary bedroom.
Okay, and that's the far right of Commonwealth 98, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In looking at this bedroom, we have a bed, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You spoke of a dresser. Is that this object that my cursor is on here?
That's the dresser with the TV on it, ma'am.
Okay. And this area that I'm cursoring over, is that the passageway into the bathroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, which would then make this room a bathroom, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now that we've oriented ourselves, was Joe Ryan's body still on scene when you arrived?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and approximately how long did his body remain on scene while you did your work?
It was there for several hours.
Okay, and is that how long it took you to document the scene?
We had to get a search warrant, doing the scene documentation, waiting for the medical investigator to arrive on scene
Okay. When was his body removed?
later in the
Recall-
day. It was
later.
it was that day, but as soon as the medical investigator arrived,
Okay, but
Later in
your
the day.
work continued after his body was removed, is that correct?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Judge, I'm going to offer exhibits 99
Okay.
through 101 under seal.
All right, and no objection, correct? Okay. 99,
And-
100, and 101 under seal.
Thank you. And if they can be shared with the witness and the jury. All right, starting here with Commonwealth's 99. This photo depicts what? What do we see here?
And that's going to be a photo from the bathroom back out into the main area of the bedroom, and that is Joe Ryan's body.
Okay, is this how the scene looked when you arrived?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so before you had begun processing any of the items that you eventually collected?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Commonwealth's 100, is this a photograph of Joseph Ryan's body?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what observations did you make about his body upon your arrival?
Upon arrival, I was documenting was first that his shirt was pulled up. There was a chest seal on the left side. the hands, right hand was in that position that you see it here, along with his right hand. The pants were unbuttoned and disheveled in the front. Right leg was straight, and the left leg is underneath the bed with a purple pillow over it.
Did you do any investigation to determine whether or not that was the position of his body when first responders arrived on scene?
Once I had access to the body-worn camera, I watched that to see what the officers originally came into. And when they first came in, the shirt was down and the hands were across his chest.
All right. Looking at this photo around Joseph Ryan's head.
All right, so you're taking a look at day 3 of the Au Pair affair murder trial there in Fairfax County, Virginia. We're going to take a step aside from that, and we are going to head to break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. We want to head back now to Fairfax County, Virginia, where the Au Pair affair murder trial is underway. There's a witness on the stand. So this trial continues today for Brendan Banfield, a Northern Virginia man accused of killing his wife, Christine Banfield, and a stranger, Joseph Ryan, to be with his family's au pair. Let's take a listen in to this witness on the stand. I believe this is a detective.
This is a Fairfax County police detective.
Okay, gotcha. Let's take a listen in.
Commonwealth's 103. Is that the area where you observed the blood stain?
Yes, ma'am, it'd be to the right of the ruler.
We're going to zoom in one more time. 104.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the blood stain.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you later send a swab of that suspected blood out for testing as item 71?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Looking at Commonwealth's 105. We're back in time before the items were picked up, but let's talk about those items that you collected. What was in this pile of fabric that we see here?
I had 2 blankets, a sheet, and a towel. The blankets, one was a real dark blue with a white Sherpa on one side. The other blanket was blue on both sides. Sheet was white with stripes, and then he had a towel.
Okay, let's talk about the blue blanket with the white Sherpa. Directing you to Commonwealth's 106. Is this that blanket?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what you've done with it here.
This is back at our facility to document it. I hung it.
And I just wanted to pop on and say, viewer discretion advised. Some of the stuff you may see may be a little graphic. The photographer there on scene will pan away if something is a little bit too much. But again, I just want to give you a viewer discretion advised for what you may see during this trial. Let's take a listen in.
And let's look at Commonwealth's 107. Is that the reverse of the blanket?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the Sherpa side?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And again, the dark marks we see, what are those?
Bloodstains.
Commonwealth's 108. What is this object?
That would be the sheet.
Okay, and again, where is this photo taken?
This photo was taken at our facility.
Okay. The marks we see on the sheet, what are those?
More bloodstains, ma'am.
All right, and there was a lighter blue blanket you mentioned?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Commonwealth's 109. Is this that blanket?
Yes, ma'am.
And again, what did you observe on the blanket?
More bloodstains.
Okay, so let's talk about Commonwealth's 110. What is this object?
That's the towel, ma'am.
Okay, so again, where was this towel located?
On the floor with all those bed linens near the foot of the bed.
Did you happen to, in your review of the body-worn camera, see where the towel was when first responders arrived?
It was a little bit further away from the bed. When the first responders came, you could see the bed linens and things from firemen, patrol officers were trying to do life-saving. Those linens and stuff started to roll and move towards the bed more.
Was this towel on Christine Banfield?
No, ma'am.
Does this towel have any evidence of heavy staining or blood absorption?
In my opinion, no, ma'am.
So these blankets were moved as the officers addressed Christine Banfield's injuries and attempted to rescue Joe Ryan. Could the blankets that we saw a moment ago have transferred blood to the carpet as they were moved?
Yes.
Were they saturated?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there was a lot of blood on those items.
Yes, ma'am.
Could have ended up on the carpet as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So looking at the carpet, can you approximate here where Christine Banfield's body was found? This is Commonwealth's 111.
I used body-worn camera. I watched the body-worn camera to determine that. And it would be the stain that you see on the right-hand side. That was the vicinity of her head.
What did you find when you removed the carpet relative to these stains?
What I ended up doing was we pulled the carpet back. Our question was we wanted to see how far down the stains would go. And when we did that, we found that the stain on the left-hand side, underneath the carpet is a foam pad, and then you got the subfloor. The blood soaked through the carpet, through the foam pad, and then onto the subfloor, and created another stain there. The stain on the right, same scenario, again, is soaking down through. But when we got to the subfloor, there was just a little stain, a much smaller stain than what we found from the stain on the left-hand side.
So to summarize, there was more blood deposited in the stain on the left-hand side than the right.
Yes, ma'am.
You need your microphone, Mr. Carroll, I cannot hear it.
I would object to Ms. Sands' conclusion as to what the detectives just commented on in terms of her question.
What's the objection?
Well, I believe it's without foundation, and I believe that she's leading.
No, overruled. All right, good, continue.
Let's talk about the areas of the carpet that you had tested. Looking at this photograph, and we'll zoom in just a moment, but did you have either of these two large stains tested?
No, ma'am.
Okay, why not?
When I presented to the state lab with the evidence that I had, they didn't see the probative value in it.
All right. Did they give you any explanation for why?
Because her body was there.
Okay. So looking at Commonwealth's 112, did you take swabs from the stains on the carpet that we see here?
Yes, ma'am. If you take where the scale is at and come below it.
All right, that large
Yes, ma'am.
stamp, if you will.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and was that item 42?
That was item 42. I did another swab, which would have been item 43. If you come above the scale, you'll see another stain in there. What I did is I took another sample from the center of it.
And when we're talking about these two stains, to distinguish, we've got 43, and the shape of 43 is different from 42, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how would you describe 43 as a stain?
That's a stain to me. It was passive blood droplets falling down onto the carpet.
And what was different about 42? What kind of stain was that?
42 was one large concentrated stain.
Thank you. I'm going to direct your attention to Commonwealth's 113. Did you find a knife?
Yes, ma'am.
And where was the knife found?
The knife was found underneath the blankets, between the edge of the blankets and the bed. And the only thing we could see when we arrived was the handle. And the knife was sitting on its backside, so it was blade up. And then the handle was towards the bed.
Did your review of the body-worn camera tell you anything about the final position of the knife?
This is not the original position of the knife.
Okay, so what did you observe on body-worn? I think we've all seen it too and talked about it, but what did you observe on body-worn?
On body-worn camera, the blankets were, if you're viewing this photo, the blankets have been more to the left. The knife was completely exposed, and you could see during the life-saving that officers and firemen stepped on the knife a few times, and they got kicked and moved around as they were trying to work.
Okay. Did you collect this item?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you send it to the lab for testing as item 10?
Yes, ma'am.
Going to have you look at Commonwealth's 114. Is that the knife and the photograph that accompanied it to the lab?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So let's talk about guns. Commonwealth's 115. Did you observe any weapons at the scene other than the knife?
Yes, ma'am. There was 2 handguns.
Okay, can you describe those 2 items for me?
One gun was a Glock 19M with a light kit on it, and the second one was a Glock 43X.
All right, is this photograph of the 19M?
Yes, ma'am.
And the flashlight, you mentioned the light on it that you said, is that the red ring that we
Yes.
see at the end?
Yes, ma'am. It's the light kit. It's a flashlight underneath the barrel of the gun.
Okay. Were you able to identify who owned that weapon?
It was Mr. Brendan Banfield's duty weapon.
Where was it located upon your arrival?
When I arrived, it was on the left side of the bed, about halfway, resting on its right side.
Again, after reviewing body-worn camera, were you able to determine if that gun had been moved?
It was moved, ma'am.
All right, do you know where it was moved from?
It was moved from the front left corner of the bed. It was resting on its left side with the grip portion near the closest to the edge.
Okay, if we're looking at the bed, if I'm standing at the foot of the bed, is it on my right or is it on the left?
It'd be on your right.
On my right, okay, perfect, thank you. Looking at Commonwealth's 116, orienting myself, this is the primary bed, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and on the right hand of this photo, is that where you observed the gun?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on the body-worn camera?
Yes.
Okay, and was there any residue on this sheet?
There was 2 blood stains on that bed. The one on the right near the edge, and then there's another one on the front edge. And that was from medical waste. Because when I picked up that evidence, that when we were clearing off the bed, when I picked up those items, there was blood on them.
Okay, did you send this sheet to the lab for testing?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll show you Commonwealth's 117. Did you make the markings on the photo here?
Yes,
The
ma'am.
red that we see? What were you intending to communicate with the markings that you have on the sheet?
I spoke with the state lab about what we were requesting for stains, and because I knew the one was from medical waste, there was no need to process that, because we know where it came from, the point of origin. But the one on the right-hand side is the one I wanted, and so I sent this so they could have a reference to what I was talking to them about and showing it to them.
Okay. If you had just sent the big old sheet to the lab without any specifics, what would have been the response?
They would start processing the whole
Okay.
sheet.
All right, thank you. So, Commonwealth.
Breaking news into our newsroom. We got an update on a story that we've been bringing to you here on Live Impact News and over on WCNC Charlotte, on WCNC Plus, regarding a petition seeking to remove Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden from office. Well, that was dismissed today. Again, that petition seeking to remove Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden from office over allegations of misconduct and abuse was dismissed today. Now, Representative Carla Cunningham and 4 former employees of the sheriff's office filed the petition earlier this month. The group accused McFadden of misconduct, attempted extortion, and habitual refusal to perform duties of the office. The misconduct accusations included mismanagement of the county jail, retaliation against former employees, and good faith whistleblowers. Misuse of official resources, weaponizing the internal affairs unit against enemies while silencing internal investigations into allies, workplace favoritism, and making threats against a state legislator. Now, McFadden has called this whole thing a smear campaign, telling WCNC Charlotte that he welcomed an investigation by the SBI. That investigation is ongoing according to Thursday's hearing. But the update that we have is, again, a petition seeking to remove Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden from office over allegations of misconduct and abuse, dismissed today. We'll have more updates on the story as we get
I
them.
also think we're supposed to have McFadden here tomorrow morning.
Okay, so I believe we'll have, he's been a weekly guest of ours here on Live Impact News, so we should hear more from Sheriff McFadden tomorrow. But again, the news coming in from court, petition seeking to remove Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden from office over allegations of misconduct and abuse, dismissed today. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. All right, welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sertivant. We want to go now to Raleigh, where Governor Josh Stein holding a press conference, giving us an update on NC Strong. These are ongoing initiatives to keep North Carolina families healthy and safe. Let's take a listen in.
There is recognition that the damage that Western North Carolina suffered was immense, and appreciation that more needs to come. We're going to work with them to get them comfortable with the $13.5 billion figure, but there was just unanimity that Washington needs to do more, and we look forward to working with them in the coming weeks to get them comfortable with the package and then find the right opportunity to make sure that the funds come. Very gratified after yesterday with the announcement from FEMA that they were approving some reimbursements from public assistance to local jurisdictions that had incurred expenses, in some instances, $15 million, Rutherford County, in debris removal. And they're just waiting on that money to get reimbursed. And you can imagine how significant $15 million is to the annual budget of Rutherford County. So to have that money approved was a very positive step. They also approved the first hazard mitigation grants that they've done in an entirety of the year. So that was a big logjam, a big icebreaker. There's still so much more that needs to be done. So many homeowners. We just had our advisory council that I've put together to help make sure that we're doing our job right when it comes to recovery. We had a meeting last Friday in Rutherford County, coincidentally, and a woman from Buncombe County came to that area, and she said, my house in Swannanoa was destroyed to the point where it's uninhabitable. You cannot live there. I'm still paying a mortgage on that property. I can't do anything with it. I can't sell it. I can't rebuild it. I'm just spending money. Please take this. She raised her hand and said, I want you all to take my property, and it will. The way it works is they buy the property and then it becomes green space forever, so that there won't be anyone who experiences pain if there is future flooding. Well, that has not been acted on, and there are dozens. In fact, there were 560 applications of homeowners who similarly said, please, my house is in a flood zone. I'm ready for you to acquire my property to the government. So.
All right, so that is Governor Josh Stein and other North Carolina leaders in Raleigh right now giving an update on NC Strong, his ongoing initiatives to, in his office's words, to keep North Carolina families healthy and safe. Let's come back out here now. We're approaching the top of the show. Thank you for staying with us and hanging with us on this chilly, cold Thursday morning. Thank you for being with us. A lot happened within the last couple of hours, but don't go anywhere. Make sure you stick around for Charlotte Today, midday after that, and then we're back at 12:30 here on Live Impact News. Have a great morning, folks.